Hey everybody, this is Shamini from the Happy Film Company, and today I'm going to show you a couple tricks for photographing large groups, specifically for family reunions. So, in a family reunion, usually what happens is there's a billion people that all want to be photographed in their separate little groups. Like, that's the whole point, right? So, you get a group picture of everybody together like this. And then from there, your goal is now to get every possible combination that celebrates who this family is. So you'll have all the individual family units. You go through, and then usually you get all of the original kids from the family, and then you have all of the women. Woo! And then you have all of the men, including the little men. Now, what happens during a family reunion that can be a little bit tricky is got so many people and you've got limited time, and so you can end up being like a factory production line where it's just like group after group, stand together, smile, move on, stand together, smile, move on. And so as an artist, that can be really frustrating because you want to get beautiful candids like this. So what I do is I think about the art is going to happen in the in-between moments. So here we have everybody in the forest smiling, and it's fantastic. And then as a group, we're all walking together to get out here to the field. But in between, there's all this opportunity to photograph the kids walking together, being all cute with their little shoes on. It's adorable. And getting pictures like this of a little boy walking all by himself. Likewise, oops, where did it go? There. As the family's walking, you can get candids of them holding hands. So, and you don't want to move the family around too much because you do have limited time, and it's hard to like herd all the cats, like to wrangle them all up and move to a different location. So to get variety and keep your family reunion pictures as interesting as possible, I usually just move to one other spot. So there's two locations. I get a bunch of candids in the walking process, and then I always try to do something new. So, for example, for this family, the Williams family, this was a new shot that we haven't done before, where we had Grandma and Grandpa up here who, they started the family, so it's all about them. They're the ones that are in focus at the front, and then we had everybody else line up here, which means the people back here are they're not in focus. So it's not really about them specifically so much as for these two to see all the people behind them that came from them as a result. So this was something new that we tried, and all we had to do is have everybody standing in a group like this, and then we were standing out here on the boardwalk, and then we ran across to the boardwalk over here and had them clump together, and we took the picture down. So the trick with family reunions is you have to have everything you ask the clients to do has to be as simple as possible. You make them move as little as possible. So to get this shot moves into this shot, you just have everyone move closer together. And you don't want to spend a lot of time rearranging and having everybody move around, and you kind of have to accept the fact that you have limited time and too many people. So by that I mean too many people to move around and have a lot of freedom. So you keep everything they're doing as simple as possible, and then you as the photographer get to move around and run and be as creative as you can to get all these different little angles. Also, zooming in, right? If you wanted to get individual portraits of all these kids, it would be really tricky because there's so many of them. So here I have everybody standing in a group, and then I'm just going to see right here, there's that little boy. I grab my zoom lens and I zoom in on him, boom, for his picture, okay? And ideally you could do that with everybody. So you do that with her little squinchy face too, and this little boy's smiley face. And so the goal is that they haven't moved at all, but you've managed to get a whole bunch of different pictures by zooming in closely on each thing. Also, with something like a family reunion, there usually is going to be a focus. Like, why are you all getting together? Usually it's like Grandma and Grandpa's anniversary or something. So then we'll take some time to take portraits of Grandma and Grandpa that are special. If, let's say, the family reunion is because it's a men's reunion, then you're going to tend to spend more time focusing on all the guys. And then you do try and make it interesting, right? Because everybody is asking for that smiley shot of us all together, but that's kind of a boring picture. So then you start to play around and you're like, I want you to link arms. And then they feel awkward and then they start to laugh. And then you bring in the little boys. A lot of it is experimentation. Like, stand there. Okay, that's fine. What if you all... oh, here we go, actually. We started here having the little boys standing, and then we're like, put them up on your shoulders. And then we started like having them laugh and tickle each other. And don't be afraid to capture moments like this too, right? Because there's a lot of these moments during a family reunion where the kids start to run away. And the parents are like, oh, God, come back to me. And sometimes, you'd be like, this picture could end up being one of their favorites just because, I don't know, but like this little girl, maybe she just always runs away. And so that becomes a special memory for them of like, yep, that's us, that's our family, that's the little girl, she always runs away. But you'll notice, and this is a really big lesson, and it was hard for me in this photo shoot. I didn't do a very good job of it. But look here, mom, daughter 1, daughter 2, they're smiling, but daughter 3 and 4, they're looking down at the kids. Totally fine, because it fits with the little girl running away, right? But if you're back here in this kind of moment, like everyone's together, and so the fact that this mom and her daughter are kind of distracted, it's not, she's not engaged, and so she's kind of missing out on the portrait in a way. Or like here, her face is looking down, and so they don't look super happy, so they're probably not going to like that portrait. We're looking for the picture where everybody's looking their best, and the fact that she doesn't look happy, she's not going to be very happy with that picture in general, and they're not going to want to print it. And so we didn't do a very good job, because when you look through all these pictures, you're like, uh-oh, there we go. We've got one where everybody's smiling. But to get to this picture was so hard, right? We had to take all of these other pictures. And so you have to realize that when there's so many people in the picture, you have to coordinate everybody's faces. So usually you can't control the children, but you can give direction to the parents and the adults. So what you say is, all adults, please stare at the camera and smile and do not look away, even if the children squirm and run around. And then, as the photographer, especially if you have an assistant, it's your job to get the kids to look. So you make noise and you use their names and you play around and you do everything you can to get the kids to engage with you. And the moment the kids look up, you take the picture. And hopefully all the parents are still smiling at you. The problem usually happens for me is that the kids decide to look up, and in that moment when the kids are looking up, the parents are still looking down. And you're like, no, I missed it because you stopped smiling. So I really emphasize that. And the bigger the group, the more people there are in the group, the more you have to be clear to the parents and be like, guys, look at me and do not look away, because the minute your kids look, I need everybody smiling. Does that make sense? So that's probably the biggest thing when it comes to these big groups is you're trying to remember every combination, and then you got to get a good picture of every combination, and you have to keep in mind that every single face needs to look good. So here's an example of mom. She probably won't like it too much because her eyes are closed. But the next one, everybody looks pretty good. Everybody's engaged. So we had a win on that pose. So the more people you have in a picture, the more photos you have to take as a safety net to make sure that you get the one where everybody's looking and everybody looks good. It's just kind of the ratio. The more people, the more pictures. All right, good luck with your family reunion shooting. It's a total challenge, and if you have any questions, you can always let us know. Contact us at hello@thehappyfilmcompany.com, or just visit our website and blog at thehappyfilmcompany.com. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.